door's closing so slowly. Hey YouTube, okay, so now I can talk. See, here's the deal. I am actually in the girls' dorm and it's pretty early in the morning and it's Sunday. This YouTube video, welcome to my channel by the way, my name is Christy Jensen and you reached Today Will Be Amazing. And in this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you some expert tips on succeeding in college. And this is kind of a bonus tip or a little bit of etiquette, but college students really don't like to be woken up early, especially not on the weekends. And as it happens, our walls are like paper thin. So if I'm in the hall talking, they can still hear me. But I'm in the lobby now, so I can talk and do my thing. So like I said, I'm gonna be sharing with you tips on succeeding in college so that your hard-earned money will not go to waste. Whether you're a seasoned university student or this is your first year at college, I think you will definitely benefit from these tips, so stick around. Okay guys, tip number 1, have a routine. So now is actually a really good time for me to be talking about tip number 1, and that's because I try to do the same thing every morning. So I wake up at 6, I make my bed, put things away as quietly as I can because my roommate's probably sleeping. Then I come out into the lobby, I read for a little while, I have a cup of tea, and I do a little bit of stretching and yoga, and then I go straight into either if I have classes, I'll go to class, or I will go straight into my most difficult homework first because I find that my brain functions the best early in the morning. Now, everybody's routine is going to vary, but it's really important to have certain things that you do at a certain time just so your body gets into the habit and into the schedule, and you'll be far more productive that way. Try to wake up at the same time every day, try to eat at the same time, try to do your heaviest studying at the same time, and also try to go to sleep at the same time every day. Your body will thank you. Before I move on to tip number 2, I have a bit of a confession to make. As you can see, I'm enjoying some green tea. Hopefully it will keep me awake for the morning. Last night, I did not get very much sleep. I maybe got an hour and a half. I was in bed around 10:15 or 10:30, but I honestly just couldn't sleep. I wasn't even tired. I was so hyper, which is not characteristic of me. I'm usually wiped at that time. But I was doing yoga in bed, and then I started writing random poems and fooling around trying to make myself tired. Finally, at 1 a.m., I decided I might as well be awake doing something productive than awake being ridiculous. So I got my computer and I finished my personal finance homework. I wrote a speech and I put my computer away, and by that time I was getting tired and it was after 4. It was probably around 4:30 when I fell asleep and I woke up at 6. I usually need at least 7 hours to function, and I try to get 8 every night. I'm anticipating a crash around 2 p.m. We'll see if I can make it that long. I feel hypocritical, very hypocritical, because my tip number 2 is getting enough sleep. Most college students pull frequent all-nighters to study or to Netflix. Actually, that's a verb now. I was up all night Netflixing. There you go. That is really not good for your body. Getting enough sleep does so much for your health. It improves your memory. I don't know a college student that would not take an improved memory. It can help you lose weight. It boosts your metabolism, boosts your mood. It can also boost your immune system. So many benefits of getting plenty of sleep, and yet so many people don't. Honestly, I've spent my morning reading, studying, and doing random things. But I just went and grabbed breakfast. I have 1 scoop of oatmeal that they gave me and maybe a dozen tater tots. This is seriously all they gave me. I'm not sure if that's gonna be able to fill me up for more than, say, 45 minutes. Anyways, let's move on to tip number 3, and that is have a stress release. Preferably one that doesn't involve eating. I know I'm saying that to you while I'm eating, but I mean like snacking. Your stress release should not be snacking. For me personally, my stress release is going to the gym, going for a walk, or maybe reading a book. It can be a variety of things, maybe drawing or doing something creative or playing an instrument or just building a model airplane, whatever it is, as long as it's constructive and it allows you to decompress and just release the stress. That's what matters. And it's better to have a constructive way to decompress rather than a destructive way, such as snacking on unhealthy foods or vegging in front of the TV. Hello again. I am outside enjoying the most incredible weather. It is such a gorgeous day. I don't know how I was inside at all, but I was tired of that stuffy lobby. I am now sitting on a swing surrounded by rose bushes. Life could not be much better than this. Anyways, let's move on to tip number 4. Go to class and study. Okay, this might seem like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how many students just choose not to show up to class. Usually their excuse is something along the lines of, I was just way too tired and couldn't make it. Granted, I would be tired too if I stayed up till 2 a.m. every morning, but you're paying thousands of dollars to get an education. The least you can do is show up to class. Tip number 5. So I had originally filmed tip number 5 outside on the swing, but it didn't turn out quite as I had hoped, so I'm redoing it inside in front of my amazing American flag. Tip number 5, get to know your professors outside of class. Believe it or not, professors actually appreciate it when you greet them in the hall, ask how their day's going, you treat them like actual people. Professors are not lecturing monsters who just enjoy giving boatloads of homework to innocent students. Professors are generally very intelligent and wise. We can learn from their experiences. Number 6, socialize. College is a great place to meet a ton of people, and these people could one day be your bosses, your coworkers, or even your employees. College is an amazing place to network. Meet as many people as you possibly can and avoid falling into cliques and being exclusive. Include people, meet new people, branch out, go out of your way to meet new people. I promise you won't regret it. Tip number 7, join a club. So I was actually pretty bad about this last year. I was technically part of a club, part of the Asian club. I know, shocking, right? But I really didn't participate that much. I think I maybe went to 1 meeting. But honestly, clubs are a great way to meet like-minded people, and I am determined that this year I am going to do a whole lot better in participating in a variety of clubs. I've already signed up for a business club, a political science club, and a couple others. Clubs are great because you meet people with similar interests. Clubs also help you branch out and socialize and network, so take advantage of them. Tip number 8, disconnect from technology. In this day and age, it seems like everything is done online. I have online textbooks, I submit my homework online, I do most of my research online. Sometimes I feel like my entire day is spent in front of a screen. It's not healthy for your brain to be staring at a screen for hours on end. Take time in your day to disconnect from technology. Close your computer, turn off your phone, and do something that does not involve a screen. Maybe read a book, meditate, do a little bit of yoga, go for a walk, or just sit and think. number 9, be respectful and obey the rules. So when I got to university, I was given this handy book called the Residence Hall Handbook. Now guess what's in this handbook? That's right, a dress code, rules of conduct, curfews, all that fun stuff. Now, I'm not going to dwell too much on this subject. If you're in college, you should be old enough and responsible enough to obey the rules. It says a lot about your character if you're willing to do what's asked of you, even if it doesn't make sense. I've struggled with this in the past, but you learn and grow. Be respectful, obey the rules, just do what's right. Hey all, it's Tuesday and what's up? So I'm going to share with you the last 3 tips on being successful in college. Tip number 10, which is stay healthy. I'm going to take you with me as I make my breakfast this morning and give you just a few tips on staying healthy and avoiding that freshman 15. If you don't know what the freshman 15 is, it's pretty much the tendency for freshmen to gain 15 pounds their first year of university. And nobody wants that. Thankfully, I was able to avoid the freshman 15. I worked really hard and I actually ended up losing a fair bit of weight my freshman year. And I'm just going to tell you a few of my tips and show you what I have for breakfast on a normal day. Okay, so as I eat my breakfast, I'm going to share with you just a couple tips on staying healthy in university. You've probably heard some of these before, but I am speaking from my own experience, they work. First of all, make sure you're drinking plenty of water. I know this is totally the most cliche thing about getting healthy, but honestly, your body sometimes confuses hunger for thirst, and lots of people pretty much are dehydrated all the time. So I try to drink at least 3 liters of water a day, sometimes more if I can. And I keep this bottle by my bed. So as soon as I wake up, I drink the whole bottle, usually before I get out of bed. And once I'm out of bed, I have a mason jar that I drink from, and it's about 1 liter. And I also have tea in the morning. So this is a little more complicated on class days because I have to pee like every 20 minutes. So I try to cut back in the morning on class days and drink more in the afternoon when I'm gonna be in my room studying. But really, do whatever works for you. Just try to drink as much water as possible. Also, eat a nutritious breakfast. So lots of people end up skipping breakfast, especially when they're in college. They think they can save time and energy, but the truth is it's gonna come back to haunt you because if you skip breakfast, you'll end up eating more calories throughout the rest of the day, and usually you'll end up snacking on unhealthy junk food. Now, if you get hungry, which sometimes I do, have maybe some apple or carrots, some healthy snack to hold you over until you eat your next meal. Exercise. Okay, this is an obvious one, but I don't think people realize its importance. Even if it's just going for a walk or doing 10 push-ups before you go to bed or doing a few sit-ups in the morning, try to make sure that your body gets some movement every day. Exercise shouldn't be a burden, it should be a joy for you. So if you don't like running on the treadmill, try doing something like jamming out to some music and do the elliptical or ride a bike. Whatever it is, just make sure that you have an enjoyable way to get your body moving. And if you can, go to the gym. It's a great way to decompress and de-stress, and your body will thank you for it. Avoid sugar as much as possible. Sugar is in basically everything, so do your best to avoid it. Eat as many natural foods as you can. Along those lines is avoiding processed food and refined foods. Basically, the more natural, the better. Tip number 11, think critically. You guys are in college. You're going to learn a lot of book knowledge. You're going to learn a lot of nitty-gritty facts and theories. I want to challenge you to look at the big picture. Think of all those little bits of information as puzzle pieces that will one day show you the picture of how you should look at the world or your paradigm. Question what people say. It's not a crime to have your own opinion, and it's not a crime to disagree. And guess what? It's not even a crime to be politically incorrect. Don't be mere receivers of information. Think critically. Look at the big picture. And last but not least, tip number 12. Get
married already. Honestly, the only reason you're in college is to find a spouse. If you graduate without a spouse or without at least being engaged, then college was definitely not worth your money. Like, seriously. Did you go to just learn or something? No, you went to get a spouse, okay? And we all know you can't be complete unless you have a better half next to you. Hey guys, that concludes this video. Thank you so much for making it to the end. It really means a lot and I appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and check out my website, todaywillbeamazing.com. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next video.